What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. Now with this video, we are jumping into Batman and Superman, The Authority Special. Now if you didn't get a chance to check out Superman and the Authority, be sure to check out the link in my description as well at the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that was going on with Superman forming this new team as they head off to Warworld. But before they get that opportunity, Batman has one last mission for them, and that takes them to the Dark Multiverse, where they take on the Empire of Shadows. And I also wanted to let you guys know about Dark Knights of Steel, the medieval comic from DC Comics that was released today. So be sure to check out the videos that I post today, because that is going to be one of them. And so with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are picking up with this issue, and it is taking us to another world, to the Dark Multiverse, a world where the League of Shadows has risen to the state of an empire. They have taken over the entirety of Earth. The Al Ghuls, the Empire of Shadows, are now the rulers of everything, with any pockets of resistance being wiped out. Those individuals then joining the army using Lazarus resin, which we have seen used a ton in recent DC Comics. More specifically, we have seen Amanda Waller use it in her Task Force Z. Z standing for zombies, because she is bringing old Suicide Squad members back from the dead to use as Suicide Squad members yet again, saying that you can't escape, not even in death. And so our Al Ghuls are using this in the same exact manner. So with every death, one is added to their army. And walking into the throne room, we see an individual sitting on the throne that we can only assume is Ra's al Ghul. Sitting next to him is his daughter, Talia al Ghul, and her 3 children are now walking into the room. The 3 being Saif, Taj, and Jana al Ghul. And they have come to let them know that their enemies have fallen, that the Gotham uprising has ended, and the Al Ghuls have no more enemies. And they have come to pay tribute to the demon's head, one holding the broken Green Lantern ring, saying that the Green Lantern had been defeated in the Battle of Old Town. The other carrying the helm of Dr. Fate, saying that he fell in the Battle of Blackgate. Now the last, the daughter of Talia al Ghul, she brings something vastly more powerful, something vastly more useful, something that has been hiding away in the stars, saying that the Empire will not just unite this world, it will unite all worlds. And so that's what picks us up with the Authority at Fort Superman. And right now we have our whole team sitting around just waiting to go to Warworld. Now Light Ray, Mac, a few of the others, they don't really know what to expect once they get there. But Manchester fills them all in and lets them know that it's a very hellish world where the ruler believes that throwing these chains on people and brainwashing them into believing that the chains are in fact empowering, and that through battle and through war, through gladiator fights, that is where you get your honor, that it is all for the greater good. But with Batman and Superman walking into the room, letting them know that they will get to Warworld soon enough. But before they go, they have one more thing to do. Batman needs some help. A mission that takes precedence right now. And as Batman looks around at this team, really in shock that this is the team Superman put together. Individuals that some of them aren't even really on our side. Superman defending them, saying that they are capable, that they believe in what they are about to do. With Batman firmly believing that he picked this team just to try and prove something. But Superman lets him know that I came to everybody for help on Warworld. And Batman, the Justice League, the United Planets, every single one of them turned Superman down. These guys did not. So these guys are the heroes that he needs. Now, of course, Midnighter, he's gonna jump in. He's gonna throw his 2 cents in here, because he's a lot like Batman, and so he doesn't like Batman for that simple fact. And we can already tell that these two brooding individuals, they're gonna end up butting heads. But Superman tells everyone that they need to listen up and listen to what Batman is about to say, because while they may not agree with one another, while they may be at some kind of difference, this man has saved the world more times than anybody can count, and probably times people don't even know about. And so Superman asked the authority to show him the same respect you would Superman, with Batman letting us know that he has reason to believe Earth will be invaded. Now, obviously, some of them know that this is a fairly common occurrence. When is Earth not being invaded? But the only issue is this force is a big enough threat that he would like Superman's help and possibly everybody else's. And that the threat is known as the Empire of Shadows, letting them know that this isn't the League of Shadows that they know from this Earth. This is a different Earth, an Earth that lies inside of the Dark Multiverse. And on that Earth, the Al Ghuls have been able to reign for thousands of years. Left completely unchecked, there was nobody to stop the League of Shadows from turning into the Empire of Shadows. And according to Batman's source, on this Earth, Ra's al Ghul completely achieved his goals. He was the only true superpower left on the planet, with them controlling all of the governments, all of the economy, all of the militaries, all of the religions. They had absolute control, and their military capabilities are practically limitless, especially having an army of the undead. Not only that, their siege engines are unstoppable, and they're controlled by a form of magic that not even Batman has seen before, letting them know that this is the strictest form of dictatorship in any universe. This is dictatorship in its purest form. And though that world has already been lost, the Al Ghuls are now looking elsewhere, with them capturing a prisoner who will allow them to invade universes outside their own. And they've discovered that the universe has a focal point for all the others. That focal point being Earth Zero. And so what Batman is proposing is that they go in and they do a smash and grab rescue mission to rescue this source, rescue this informant, take away their ability to be able to go through different universes, locking them away on their universe, on their planet, so they can't infect the rest of the multiverse, of the rest of the omniverse, saying that the goal is to infiltrate the Babylon Citadel. Now, Apollo, he definitely has some questions, asking first, how do you know all of this information? And second, how can the Empire of Shadows invade another universe? And so we pick up with the three children of Talia al Ghul as they're making their way down into the dungeons. They're talking about Ra's al Ghul, saying that he looks old. Another one of them saying that they probably should shut up because he hears everything. Regardless of how he appears, he is still running things, he is still definitely in charge. And that if they ever fail in their duties, he will take them from them and show all of them how it is done. And simply because he is not speaking doesn't mean he is not listening. And as they make their way down into this dungeon, this is where we see DC's version of the Watcher, the one known as Tempest Fugignot, that the young daughter of Talia al Ghul found him watching them up in the stars, in the space between worlds. And they had been sitting here interrogating him, finding out all they can. And this is how they came to learn about the Nexus planet, about the world that connects all worlds, the Earth known as Earth Zero. Now, picking up before our mission, we have the Authority and Batman, along with Superman, all training, all practicing, seeing what really they're made of, seeing if they have the teamwork to be able to pull this off, because they are going to the Dark Multiverse. Well, they will be left completely alone with no backup, no way of getting out outside of their one source. And so any kind of failure could mean the death of many or all of us. Now, at this point, Batman is not sure if this team is up for what it's going to take, saying that their teamwork just isn't there. They don't work cohesively well together. Not like the Justice League, not like everyone else. but Superman lets him know that this team is going to have to do. Not only does it have to do, they will get the job done. And so as we finish up training, we find out that Enchantress is going to be the one to teleport them across to this dark multiverse Earth. With teleporters being extremely rare, multiversal travel is a huge bonus. With Enchantress having the magic of very few individuals on this planet, and because of the risk of this, they're going to use Batman to help guide them in. Batman letting them know that Tempest is going to be their tether to that world. Tempest communicating to him telepathically. Batman is going to do his best to make that connection. And once that connection is made, Enchantress will teleport the entire team into the Babylon Citadel. And as we make the connection, we see a giant green blast of energy. And in the blink of an eye, they find themselves in the dark multiverse, looking around at themselves, looking around at each other, recognizing that things are different here. They look different, they feel different, and that is because in the dark multiverse, the laws of physics are simply not the same. The laws of gravity are different. Everything about natural law is broken here. And as they walk through this place, looking on the walls, Apollo sees an individual that looks awfully familiar, looking a lot like Batman, and they appear to be worshipping him. Now, of course, Midnighter, he absolutely hates it because he thinks that Batman is just a hack. He thinks he's a cheap knockoff version of him. But as they continue down the path, walking through this citadel, they find themselves in what appears to be some kind of great hall. And as they make their way to the center of the room, all the things that crawl in the night come seeping out of the walls. The Guardians, the Protectors, the army of the Al Ghuls is now upon them, with the children of Talia reaching in and grabbing Enchantress very quickly, with them grabbing her and getting out of there as fast as possible. With a magic barrier going up behind them, the entire team is left behind with Enchantress kidnapped, and now they have to fight off this entire army. And this is where the battle breaks out. With the Authority kicking it into high gear, we see them just lay way in some evil. Now the team recognizes that they need to get Enchantress back, but the only issue is this wall, this barrier that is stopping them from getting through, is too powerful for any of them to break down. And as the team looks around, they see that both Batman and Midnighter are not here. They were somehow able to slip out in all of the chaos. Now, of course, Apollo is a little bit concerned about this, but Superman is not, because that means that they have two individuals on the other side of this gate. That means they have two individuals that could save the day. Now we pick up with Enchantress, and the Al Ghuls currently have her tied up to a machine that was once Tempest, with Tempest giving them the knowledge that they needed, the knowledge to build this machine. And building this machine, they knew they would need the Enchantress. And so through Tempest, they lured Batman and the rest of the Authority here. And hooking Enchantress up to this machine, it will give them all the power they need to transport their army to Earth Zero. And once they get there, they can find other individuals that will help them go to all of the other multiverses. And so with them activating the device, we have a living multiversal teleporter powering this huge device. And with them turning this device on, two of the Al Ghuls find themselves face to face with Midnighter. Now back inside the room, the Authority and Superman are doing everything they can to hold these forces off, with Superman not wanting to kill anybody because a lot of these people are under control. They might not necessarily be dead, and so he doesn't want to kill everybody. And even the Authorities, just like, come on, man, like these guys are obviously evil. They're obviously under some kind of control if they're not just half zombies to begin with. But with the fight going a little bit sideways, Superman grabs the Al Ghul that is in here. He grabs him and he throws him to the ground, with him telling Superman that it is simply too late, that the portal has already been activated. The doorway to his world is now open, saying that the way of Al Ghul is the only way. that they do not hate them. They want to be allies. They want to bring peace to the world. All you have to do is bow to the Al Ghuls. Bow to the Empire of Shadows. And picking back up with Midnighter, he is getting thrown around by the two Al Ghuls, and he keeps asking them, what is up with your Batman obsession? Now in this world, they don't really know what he's talking about when it comes to Batman, but he can't figure it out. A guy with no powers, no cool nanotech, just a guy with a growly voice, a bat-shaped gadget, versus him who has natural enhancements, accelerated healing, and the Dark Door tech. Like, Midnighter sees his vibe as way more cooler than Batman could ever be. And so if people are going to obsess over someone and make them like their god and dress up like them, he's like, why can't it be me? Why isn't everybody dressing up as Midnighter? Why isn't there a world where evil Midnighters take over everything? But this is when Batman comes into the room, comes in to save Midnighter from getting his butt kicked. With him coming in and cracking these guys' skulls, even Midnighter has to admit that it was pretty awesome, telling him that he needs to go tend to Enchantress, that he will take care of the Al Ghuls. We see Enchantress freed. With her freed, she is able to teleport the entire team back to Fort Superman. Not only that, but they also take the machine that they had built out of Tempest, taking away any chance of them being able to multiversally teleport. And just like that, this is over with. Now, Batman recognizes that Tempest had already been dead before they arrived, that it was all a setup and a trap to bring Enchantress there, so they had a teleporter. And so as it stands, the Al Ghuls cannot cross over again, letting them know that they all did pretty good. Superman is still very uncomfortable knowing that the Al Ghuls are out there controlling an entire Earth, wondering maybe they should have kept the generals prisoner. But Batman lets them know that those were Talia Al Ghul's children, and if she is anything like our Talia, she would have stopped at nothing to get them back. And so right now, they'll be looking for easier prey. Batman, he's not lost on the idea that they might return someday. And he also lets Superman know that he recognizes he told him no to Warworld, but when Batman asked for something, Superman said yes without hesitation. But Superman tells him not to worry about it because he's right to want to stay here and protect Earth Zero. And so with that, we see the two friends, they shake hands, and Superman and the Authority, they head off to Warworld. Now picking back up at the Empire of Shadows, we see the three children of Talia al Ghul walking into the throne room, letting them know that they have failed. The gift that they had gotten for the demon's head, Tempest, that was between worlds, they have lost it. And with that, they have lost their ability to go to the other multiverses. But they are really here under the orders of the demon's head. Now, this entire time, we have believed it to be Ra's al Ghul. But the truth of the matter is that Ra's al Ghul is no more. The true leader, the one reigning over everything, is Bruce Wayne. It is the Batman, at least the one of this Earth. We can only assume that he took to the training of Ra's al Ghul, and he never deterred from the path of the League of Shadows. And with his help, they were able to conquer the entire world, becoming the Empire of Shadows. And now that he knows that there is a possibility that there is some kind of way of reaching other Earths, of bringing their idea of unity to the entire multiverse and omniverse, this will only be the beginning. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really did enjoy this issue. I think it was a lot of fun. And I know we've used the idea of, so many different variations of evil Batman out there in the Dark Multiverse. I really do enjoy it because it just makes so much sense. The individual who works tirelessly trying to protect this planet, doing everything he can to ensure the safety of Earth. And so the dark version, we can only assume that Batman goes sideways in a million and one different ways. And we've seen so many of them in Dark Knight's death metal. And so it's nice to know that the Dark Multiverse is still out there, that we're still gonna see glimpses of it. That it's always going to be trying to spill over into the regular multiverse, the regular omniverse. That it will always be tapping there at the door. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.